Informational items at the top of the agenda, so we'll call the meeting to order. Are we on? Okay, cool. All right, well, good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'll probably mention this again once Jason gets here and maybe Jim Morgan, but before moving on to the information items, we want to introduce Hiba Khan. Hiba is our new student assembly trustee, and we're delighted to have her. We had a nice conversation about how she ended up at SUNY Broome, and she's very, very excited about this role and something that she wanted to do from the moment she stepped foot on campus. So really nice to see it come to fruition. So we look forward to hearing from you this year and your contribution.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And yes. Tonight also marks a special night. Diana Lenzo, who is retiring. So this is her last. Don't be so happy. It's really obnoxious, Diana. I don't understand why you'd want to be on a boat instead of with us, but anyway. This is her last formal meeting, so we'll have time to spend with her in July, but this will be her last formal meeting. So I can't thank you enough. You've been awesome to work with, and I've enjoyed every minute, and you've kept me on task and kept me well informed, but you've been very meaningful to the college and to the community, because the college has supported the community in many ways, and certainly President Hawkins and getting a new president on board it's gone very, very well. So thank you for everything. And we have a cake and flowers, and of course she ruined the surprise because she was here when we brought them in. So we hope after the meeting you can stay and have a piece of cake, and we'll have some other time in July to celebrate her, but tonight we thought it would be nice to have a little something. So, all right, we will move on to the informational items. Dr. Hawkins.
Yes, let me also welcome Trustee Khan and thank Diana for her work with the board as the secretary to the board, both keeping me on track as well as all of the trustees and the senior staff, keeping us focused, keeping us on a strict timeline so the materials get out, and just being just a good reminder of what good stewardship is really all about. Since we met last, the class of 2024 successfully completed the degree requirements for graduation. Our 75th commencement exercise had over 780 graduates ranging from the ages of 18 to 62. We introduced a new tradition to the college by, in addition to giving our students their certificate folders, we also gave them yellow roses, and they were instructed to give those yellow roses to people who have been inspirational in their success. It was really kind of wonderful to see what parents received roses, what faculty received roses, what support structures exist to help support our students. So that was wonderful. I appreciate the commencement committee for indulging me and trying to introduce a new ceremony, a new tradition.
I thought it went extremely well.
Thank you for all the trustees who attended as well. It's really a wonderful thing. So.
It always
No matter how many times you walk in and you hear that music, you get emotional. You can't help it. You watch how excited they are, and you might remember once when you walked yourself.
This evening, the county legislature is working on our budgets. Hopefully we'll be approving our budgets. We submitted and approved our budget request to the county executive, as well as several of the small committees within the legislature. And tonight is we are expecting that the budget itself will be approved by the county legislature. We requested a modest 2% increase in the funding from the county, and that was included in what was reviewed and approved. So we're pretty excited going into tonight's meeting that the value and the importance of SUNY Broome Community College is felt in the budget that was submitted as well as approved. As far as the state is concerned, we had a very successful year of advocacy from the Community College Trustee Association, as well as the SUNY Community College presidents. We were awarded 100% of the floor in state operational funding, which is, going in the right direction. It's not quite the 97 million in additional revenue that we had requested. But we believe that the advocacy was important for us to do, as well as set the stage for further conversations moving forward, so hopefully greater success.
But there's also on 8 million, right?
On a brighter note, instead of the $97 million, we were actually awarded $8 million to have additional support for specifically for SUNY community colleges. 5 million of the 8 million is going to help support health career programs and implement some of the initiatives of a healthcare careers task force. SUNY Broome is the recipient of the highest amount that was being awarded of $350,000. And we can definitely use it in support of our healthcare programs. And then the other 3 million was devoted specifically to help support mental health initiatives on the campuses, and all 30 community colleges each received $100,000. So we have until July 15th with which to submit our plan and proposal, but this is very good news, and this is added to our base, so we can hopefully expect this additional funding to continue next year as well. Not quite the 97 million, but it is moving, as I said, in the right direction, and I think it's because of the joint advocacy between the presidents and the community colleges, and our wonderful students going to the state to speak on behalf of our funding request. We had a wonderful retreat of the community college, SUNY Community College presidents. We met at Finger Lakes Community College just last week and had several professional development sessions on artificial intelligence, on leading during times of cultural change and shift. And we're able to continue conversation about our advocacy efforts from next year. So we're getting a little head start on that work. So we're not waiting until January to begin formulating our message. I also want to say that I ran and was elected to an at-large position with the New York State Community College Association of Presidents. So I will be joining the executive leadership team of NICAM. So, and I don't want to steal your thunder, Trustee Coffey, but she is assuming a leadership role in the Community College Trustee Association. So we are definitely representing SUNY Broome in the advocacy work and the work that's being done by both of those groups. We had our final meeting yesterday of the strategic plan. So our strategic planning work group has developed both mission and value statements, as well as 4 college-wide goals and action items under each of those goals. Included in your packet is a list of all of the members of the committee of the strategic planning process. But I also want to take this opportunity to thank and acknowledge once again Kim McLean and Trustee Tastani for really leading us through a very quick but thorough process to develop a 3-year strategic plan. So thank you very much. And we look forward to presenting our finished product at the August meeting for approval by the board, and then to share it broadly with both the college community and the community at large. We have a visit scheduled for Monday from the SUNY Chancellor, who will make an announcement about healthcare careers here on campus on Monday. The Empire State development roundtable discussion on the workforce is scheduled for June the 27th. Once again, this is it's billed as a small business tour, but it's nice that they're bringing that activity to both the southern tier, but more specifically to our campus. So we'll get lots of exposure. We'll be able to share information about workforce development happenings here on campus, and provide opportunities for small businesses to use us as a resource for sharing information, for getting credentials, and other licenses. I'm sure Kathy is going to mention the alumni night at the Rumble Ponies is on July the 19th. And the Education Advisory Board Community College Roundtable is scheduled for July 24th and 25th in Washington, D.C. And I'll be participating in the EAB President's Roundtable. And with that, that's my report for May, June, and we have the month of July as an month.
Yes, that's right. So there's no meeting next month.
Thank you.
Any questions for President Hawkins? Anything about yesterday?
Yesterday. Sure. Yesterday we were invited, I was invited to participate in a press conference held by Congressman Molinaro, working or committing to work on an initiative with Broome County and its next chapter. It had the appearance of being very bipartisan. There were local political representatives there, members of Claw Industries, which is a small startup company that has developed an alternative for concrete. The one student is, or one of the leads is a former student at SUNY Broome, which was kind of exciting. Two degrees there, an engineering degree and a business degree. And we just need to meet him and expose him a lot, because he really is just a bright student that is creating and thinking about problems and solving them. And he is local and got his start, and it's getting a lot of support. So the event yesterday was at the beginning of a conversation about the next chapter of SUNY Broome County. And we'll just see what the next steps might look like.
Yeah, Dr. Hawkins did a really nice job and spoke during the press conference just about the value of the community college and how it's really helping support local businesses. It's very well done. I saw that. Yeah, it's very well done. Very nice. That you have to see, if you ever have time to be there, take a tour of that building. It's fascinating what they're doing there, but inside they rehabbed their building, and the concrete that they make with glass, it's not recyclable, but it makes the concrete, I guess, last longer. And they made these countertops from it. They're spectacular. I mean, it's just amazing what they've done, right? And just very energetic.
I've been reading about that, Kathy.
Yeah. It's just, you sort of pull up and there's like out in the parking lot, there's a pile of all the glass that's kind of sort of think, what? You know,
What's ironic is when I was in school, so this goes back to 69, 70, right? And I was taking concrete courses, and sawdust at the time was an item that was tough to get rid of. So we were trying to incorporate the use of sawdust into concrete as an aggregate.
Yeah.
And unfortunately that never went anywhere, because if it did, I wouldn't be sitting here. But anyway, yeah, it's great what they're doing.
yeah, so they just got their first big contract.
Yeah,
So,
it's pretty cool.
yeah, very energetic group. All right, thank you. Any questions for Dr. Hawkins? All right, Dr. Kelly.
Thank you. My report is in your packet and it's pretty long. So read that at your leisure. So I won't point out a lot of things, but there's a lot, it's the end of the year. So there's a lot of awards, faculty and student awards, lots of activities, professional development, lots of courses that people are taking, and also our trips. We actually this year for the first time had students participate in the Kentucky Derby, both our culinary and our hospitality students. So that's a pretty neat thing for them and a great experience. And then also we just had students at the end of the month get back from London. I think students just this week got back from Iceland, and we may have students going out west in a couple of weeks for another travel trip. I also just have a very brief presentation. This is part of what we presented at the county budget meeting. I've taken out several slides because some of them on nursing, we're going to hear about it another time, and some of that will be presented to the chancellor on Monday when he comes. But a couple of things, we just wanted to point out the enrollment and what our enrollment trends look like. In the fall, we were actually up 1.45%. In the spring, when we took out the VAP students, we actually, for the regular students that we still have, we would have been up 2.81. I mean, obviously we lost the 250 students, but we've got several plans to get 250 students back and then some. Our student registration, we're working on getting students registered quicker and also trying to get more to re-register. Fall 22 to spring 23, it was 84.1%. And this past fall to spring, it was up to 87.8%. So we're seeing an increase there, a 3.7% increase in the registration rate. So we are moving in the right direction. And then I just wanted to talk about some of the things that we continue to do with Fast Forward so that we can continue also to move in the right direction there. We currently have 24 partner schools, and you can see the counties spread out pretty far. I mean, mostly in our surrounding areas, but we do get into New York and Madison County in a couple of situations where we can. Our head count since 21 to fall 2021 to this year, 23-24, has gone up by 19%. But what's probably more important to us really is the upper chart, where we're really looking at how many of those students we can capture and get them to come as students to SUNY Broome after they graduate from high school. And so we're actually, even though we'd like it to be better, that's actually, I think it's the second highest in SUNY for a yield rate for students who participate in Fast Forward and then come to SUNY Broome. So as we continue to work with that, we're going to try to make those pathways clear for students so that what they take in high school, they know will lead to a degree. There's all kinds of things you can do with Fast Forward where students just take them, go to another college, but we really want to focus our energies on those students who we can get to come to SUNY Broome. And then number of enrollment initiatives. And I'm sure at this point, many of you have seen our enrollment vehicle driving all over the place or being driven all over the place. And it originally was created so that we could get into areas where we normally don't get and kind of bring SUNY Broome to those areas. We also have Career Coach, a software in there where students and potential students can actually kind of get a sense of what careers they might be interested in. And so we've really been pretty successful with that. And part of that, Jesse just gave me a bunch of things of where we've been. The mobile enrollment vehicle has participated with the Greater Good Grocery Bus, and we visited the Main Town Park, the Islamic Organization of the Southern Tier. It's visited the Owego Strawberry Festival. That happened already, right? The Owego Strawberry Festival, the Appalachian Library and Buckingham Manufacturing. And this summer, we're scheduled to be at the Discovery Center. I believe they were at the Juneteenth celebration yesterday at the Huntington Library in Oneonta for the 4th of July parade, the Southern Tier Community Center and the Speedy Fest. And although they are not taking the van, they will be going to New York City at the SUNY Global Center to work collaborating with athletics, housing, and DOP to start trying to work on getting again, some of the New York City market to have an interest in SUNY Broome. Our express events where we're automatically accepting the senior classes. As you know, Windsor was our first one and continues to participate with us. We've added Binghamton, Deposit, Hancock, Franklin, and Marathon. We have a meeting in August to look at Walton Central School. So we're kind of getting out there in some of the more rural areas as well to try to build the enrollment there. And then our enrollment initiatives, I know we talked a lot about the B2B, the Broome to Binghamton Guarantee. That is the logo, and they put that on a lot of their products now. We've got a lot of notepads and things. We also have the agreement I think we've talked about before with SUNY Oneonta, where they are doing something similar and expanding that into 13 additional counties, which are generally way out of our service area. And SUNY Cortland has also a somewhat similar agreement as well as Geneseo, but our strongest one, we believe, is with Bruin to Binghamton, but we're making some headway really with Oneonta to do something very similar. Right now, they're sending letters to the students who are not accepted, telling them we're their partner. But actually, after talking to them and telling them what B2B does, they're actually considering doing the same thing where they'll automatically send them to us as students. So some really good opportunities, but probably the strongest opportunity with all of that is really the marketing. There are areas that we can never market to. We can't go into Onondaga County. We can't go into Corning or whatever community that is, county that Corning's in. But with these agreements, the other schools can actually reach out and do that. So BU can do that, Oneonta can do that, and Cortland can do that. So there's a lot of marketing dollars that we got through a SUNY initiative, and also that they got through a SUNY initiative where we're marketing in those other counties, which is really, we're hoping to expand our reach into those other areas. And this is kind of an example. So this is our B2B area that allows us the expanding into those other areas. And then our Oneonta area allows us all those additional counties. So really kind of expanding our opportunity to recruit. Thank you, Jesse, for the PowerPoint, because I would not know how to do that, but it's pretty cute. But pretty good area that we have really been able to expand our marketing efforts into. And then in addition to marketing, obviously, we also want to retain our students, and we've done a little bit better of a job with that. We have the centralized advising model, the holistic advising model that we've been working really hard with. We have a 2-day training actually on Monday and Tuesday to continue to try to train that, invested in a lot of software in that area. Our student success coaches through a Perkins grant have been out and about. In fact, they were out, I think it was yesterday, or no, not yesterday because schools were closed, I think Tuesday, to some of the new Visions programs. We have some VR headsets and they're working with students to use the virtual reality to see what careers might look like. They're also using Career Coach to assess what their potential careers will be. So we're hoping that's going to be an additional recruiting model, in which we're working with Fast Forward and many of the high schools. Our pathway programs we've talked about several times, where we've cleaned up the programs. Supplemental instruction, we just had a work group that looked at students with DFW rates, concentrating on those high areas of DFWs and talking about how we can add some additional supplemental instruction to those courses. And in addition, we've also purchased some additional tutoring software that students can use online. It's a virtual model for many different areas, and sometimes areas where it's very difficult to find tutoring, like some of the higher level math and sciences. We've seen some movement. Our fall to spring college retention rates. On the top, you'll see 2021, and to the far right, 23 to 24. So it's gone from 71.6% in fall 20 to spring 21 to 76.8%. And then we also compared our housing rates, which in many cases are doing better than the actual college rate. I know they've worked really hard over in the housing area with getting some extra support, as well as Evan over here, who's worked very hard to work with the students to try to keep them here. And then just briefly, our workforce, just listing some of the businesses that our workforce has been very active in reaching out to. Danielle Britton, who you all know, has done a super job. And as you know, now we have a new AVP, Dr. Marty Ochoa, who's overseeing STEM and workforce. So we expect that to continue to expand, and they're out and about very frequently trying to expand our business relationships. And then just an example of some of the areas and where they are going, again, trying to expand our footprint within the county and beyond. And then last, I know we've talked quite a bit about our line worker training. And again, looking at the areas where we potentially will be expanding. This was our first go round, it's continuing, but given that reach, we're thinking that that may be in the future some possibility as well for when our own students aren't here, or even if there's vacancies, perhaps maybe some opportunity for housing. So lots of outreach taking place. Thank you, Jesse and his team have done a really good job at that. Our success coaches and our advisors have been out and about and really doing a nice job. And then last but not least, I asked Dr. Hawkins to pass out our IE department under the direction of Dr. Kim McLean, and Larry's here too. Larry, who works very closely with her, have produced our fast facts, which just a nice thing to, if somebody says, oh, you're on the SUNY Broome board or you work at SUNY Broome, tell us about SUNY Broome, just some quick facts that can be provided. So thank you to our IE department,
Yeah, that's
and
great.
Larry and company. So that concludes my report, unless there's any questions. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wonder, how's fall enrollment look for culinary and hospitality?
The culinary is obviously not where we want it. It's growing, but it's growing very slowly. Yeah. I don't have the exact numbers. I think it's still probably in the 40s.
How many,
40-ish.
and how many?
What's
I
that?
don't remember, how many do we want? What's our,
I think we were hoping for 80 to 100. I mean, we'd be very happy with that. I mean, we'd always like to grow it even further. That's just culinary as well. And so we also have our event management, which we're working on some things to kind of promote that a little bit better to kind of, I mean, it sounds simple, but even changing the name to let people know that that's event, it's not just weddings, but it's also sports, entertainment and those types of things. So trying to expand that outreach as well.
I mean, you talk to local restaurateurs, they really need culinary people.
Yeah, they do. One of the problems that we do face is we're kind of competing with them in some ways because they want them so badly that they'll take them kind of before.
Before, yeah.
Yeah, and yes, we would like them to wait because they'd be trained much better, but yeah. Trying to partner with them a little bit too, to see if there's a way where maybe we can teach during the day and they can work during the evening as well to kind of build a better partnership with them. So.
Good. I don't think there's any.
You still have a quorum.
Thank you very much. It's encouraging. It's going in the right direction.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of attention for the health and science.
Yes, yeah, that was probably, I should have included that in my report, but I was waiting for Monday for the chancellor, but we really have some significant plans to grow that, you know, with LPN, the paramedic transition courses. So, yeah.
That paramedic program.
Mhm.
Well, they all are, but. No, it's great. All right, any questions for Dr. Kelly? All right, for the trustees who came in a little later, we need to introduce you to our new student assembly, board trustee Hiba Khan. Well, welcome. Your report now.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hiba. I am a fourth semester student here at Broome. My major is computer science. I would like to hopefully transition in my 4-year when I go there, I would like to transition into being in the engineering field and get to work with data analytics because I really enjoy doing that. I got elected as a student trustee at the end of the spring semester. I wear a lot of hats on this campus. I'm one of the RAs in the student village. I am the president of our campus's Muslim Student Association. I was the past chair of activities council, and I was one of the past VPs in the student assembly. I have been involved in multiple campus-wide committees as well, and I've enjoyed my experience with every single one of them. It's definitely something new that I get to learn every time, and it just helps me get more and more involved in this campus, which is why this role is extremely important to me. And I'm very excited to be here and be involved as a trustee and have the opportunity to work with you guys and learn more about this campus at a trustee level, and just get to know more. So that's just a little bit about myself. For my report, there's just a brief overview of what we did last semester. We had student assembly was extremely active. We had a full e-board. We had 11 out of 13 senators, and we were very, very active, involved in multiple committees, making sure that all of our roles where student voice was necessary and needed were being focused on. We have multiple committees within student assembly that focus on all different areas of concern to our student bodies, everything from our committee that is Only One Earth, which focuses on the environmental issues on campus that students are having, to Activities Council, which deals with planning the activities for students that happen on campus that are campus wide. And we have anything and everything like that from that area in our student assembly committees. The student assembly right now does not have a complete executive board. So in the fall, we will be holding elections at the beginning of the fall semester so that we can ensure that there's a full functional executive board and senators to serve our student body. And we will be having our first meeting on the 6th of September. That's it for my.
Any questions? All right, thank you very much. All right, CCC Foundation report, Kathy Williams.
Well, all the details are in my report, so I really don't need to get in here with a lot of that. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have, and you can always reach out if there's anything that or you want to mention on. Our fundraising, we're in the last 10 days of our fiscal year, so we're trying to renew and reacquire and get as much participation as we can in the before June 30th when our fiscal year ends. Thank you to all the trustees who have supported us, and we're looking pretty good, and we're very close to 100%. So I think we're going to make that between the foundation board and the trustees. So thank you. I think it's a very important message that we send to our funders and the community that our leadership of this institution and also the foundation believe enough in what it is that we do, that we set the example for others. So it's really critical. We're telling a lot of stories right now, so it's greatly appreciated. So thanks for your support. Did want to let you know that we had a pre-meeting with the folks from Lockheed Martin. Again, they are inviting us to reapply for more support and funds for the coming year for our STEM and specifically engineering related programs and activities, and also services for veterans. Those are the two funding pillars which they are supporting us at, and we feel fortunate that we will be able to move to a really good proposal with our campus partners helping us to put that together. Just all of our appeals are wrapping up, like I mentioned, and as Dr. Hawkins said, we do have our alumni night at the Phantom Rumble Ponies on Friday, July 19th. What he did not mention, which I think might find interesting, is he is going to be throwing out the first pitch of the game. So we definitely would very much like to encourage you. I hear chatter in the halls that a lot of our faculty and staff are interested in showing up. If you as the trustees and my colleagues here would like to join us that night, it's $20 and you get a hot dog, a soda, and some chips, and you get to see our fearless leader out on the mound.
Yes.
Oh, who are you?
Oh, my father is going to be at this game. Just imagine, you know, thinking about being a child. Get over the plane.
Well, we've heard you've been practicing, so we're doing okay with that, but really, it's a lot of fun. There's fireworks. We have a lot of our community friends as well as alumni. We even have folks that are traveling from other parts of New York State. They like it. It's a really fun night, and so we think it's going to be a ball, especially if you want to join us.
Nice fun.
How about that? A ball.
Oh,
very good. I put the link to how you can register for that, and we can help you with that too. We also have SUNY Rome Alumni Night at Tioga Downs, which is going to be held on Saturday, September 1st. We are partnering with Bennington University because we do have a cohort of shared alumni. So our friends from the Bennington Alumni Office are going to come out with us, and are going to have some cool swag, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. We always got a lot of people who like to come out to that event, so we are partnering with them that way. So we'll be looking forward to having you join us. Just recently wanted to let you know we've signed 3 new endowment agreements. People are still working to make a sustainable gift to SUNY Rome, and also we have changed the minimum threshold. The board has approved increasing the threshold for starting an endowment from $10,000 to $20,000. And so, we had most people who wanted to do it before the deadline to do so. We're just really grateful about that. And I did just want to let you know that Dr. Hawkins and I have recently signed an agreement that a double alumna of the college has planning a significant estate gift to SUNY Broome. And it's significant, and Broome means so much to her. She wanted to put this in her thing, so it's a very exciting time for us, and just really happy about that. And my thought is it's going to be a generation away before we see some of these planned gifts that people are making. But the fact that they want to stand up and make their intentions known and publicly do that is a wonderful thing. And I didn't know if Jess was going to say anything about SUNY Credit Awards. Oh, so you have heard in the past that we participate with our peer institutions, and that's all 64 campuses of SUNY, and the council on it's just all the SUNY groups that concentrate in marketing and communications, fundraising, advancement, alumni engagement, and development related things. And so we've been participating for a number of years. And this year, SUNY Broome walked away with 6 awards, and we're very excited about that. And we're excited that our friends in Marcom have stepped up. Sarah Forbes, who's a graphic designer, actually designed the mobile enrollment vehicle rack that you see. And it was such an unusual project. We had encouraged her to, apply and see what happens. And so these are all peer judged, other peer institutions. So there's groups of people that judge the award submissions. And so Sarah won an award. Matt won an award for photography and a series of photos that he had taken of Dr. Hawkins. We also, Elizabeth Costanzo Stewart won an award for writing for the of the community, by the community, for the community, which was our alumni who are elected officials. And Matt won a special award for writing. Then we got some magazine awards. The previous, because they judge you on the year prior, and so we won awards on the previous magazine of Dr. Brum's retirement, and also some alumni features on just cool stuff. So next year it'll be within the weekend. And we got a best in category for you all get from us as a holiday card, the mouse pad, the SUNY Broome mouse pad. And we got a best in category for that. It serves a lot of purposes. Admissions uses them for prospective students who mail them as a holiday card, and it has like a holiday scene on it. And then we also got another award for featuring our students in their story in our appeals to our alumni and community friends and everybody. So we're rocking the house, and that's like university center level awards. So I just wanted to say that we're just really, more and more of them are stepping up to the plate to submit something.
We got a goal.
Yeah. There was some bribery, but it's just a wonderful story. And I think, you've got even the comprehensive in Portland, anywhere where they have big resources and they're doing a lot with their marketing and fundraising. So it's really cool that Broome is right up there with the rest of them.
It's great. Well done. Thanks. Nice. And also great on the plan giving. It's great.
Yay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right. Any questions? All right, Dave, look at it.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You have my report, and much of this is or was included in last month's report. So I'm just going to hit the highlights. HVAC has been installed at the library and business. And we've put the two new rooftop units on top of the west gym. They need to be connected, but we discussed this the other day among executive council and others that we're making progress on updating or upgrading our HVAC systems across campus. So that's a big plus, especially considering the weather we've had this week.
Yeah.
The other highlights would be the brickwork on the front of Tichenor, on the east end of Tichenor, has been completed. We still anticipate refinishing the wood floors in the Baldwin gym, the West gym, and the dance studio. And then we have a number of ongoing projects in the planning stage. You can see that on the second page. But we just received direction from executive management to take the next step with regard to the one-stop shop and the campus-wide signing. So we will begin those activities shortly. And the one other thing that I did not include in that listing, and I don't know why, is we have a study ongoing of the Little Theater as well, and improvements that we can implement there to make that a better venue for a number of different options across campus. So I would be more than happy to answer any questions that anyone has.
All right, thank you very much.
And Jim, keeping in the baseball mode, only you will know what I'm talking about. It's 11-3, just to let you know. So.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good. Not good.
All right, moving on, budget and finance, Mr. Sullivan.
Thank you. So the standard reports are in your packet. Just a couple of highlights for the budget monthly forecast. That hasn't changed over the last couple of months. So we're still forecasting a balanced budget with some stimulus funds. The balance of the stimulus funds supporting the revenues in order to ensure a balanced budget. Also in a standard report, as you know, the market has been pretty favorable over the past about a year. So there's investment income report that's showing you that so far year to date we've generated about almost 400,000 in interest earnings, generally about an average cash of about 11 or 12 million balance. Action item will be the final approval of the college's budget for next year. Includes tuition and fees. It's also included at your table is a copy of the adopted budget. As Dr. Hawkins noted, the county executive as well as the county legislature has through the committee process has supported a 2% increase in sponsor share, which is right around $7.8 million. So 2% is worth about $150,000 in the scheme of a almost $50 million budget. And just finally, as part of the budget and as part of a presentation we gave to the board a couple months ago, just the final results on the faculty retirement incentive plan. 21 faculty members took advantage of the program. That 1 year cost is about 2.2 million. So that'll be a one-time hit to unrestricted fund balance. The projected annual savings is about 1.5 million a year. In terms of there'll be some modest refilling of a couple full-time positions, which we anticipated, and there will need to be some adjunct faculty support for some of the areas, but overall we'll anticipate about a $1.5 million annual savings into well into the future. And then finally, not directly related party, we've concluded the first major part of the phase of refinancing the housing, the dormitory, and The housing board met earlier this week and has selected a financial institution. The name of them is Hamlin Capital Group. And we're in the final throes of executing a term sheet with Hamlin, and then the fund begins. Probably be about a 2-3 month process to review and finalize all the documents. We're going from basically a 10-year bank loan with KeyBank. Had a swap, was variable rate, and we're converting that to a 30-year fixed rate bond. So we think that will ensure a lot of stability in an unstable kind of enrollment market, as well as somewhat of an unstable interest rate market. So I think the college and the housing board is pretty pleased as to the progress we've made so far. So probably by the August board meeting, we'll probably be pretty close to a closing on the refinancing. The original debt was about 20 million. There's about 14.5 million that's remaining. This investment group has agreed to allow about $500,000 worth of capital improvements that the dormitories need. So overall, we think it's a pretty solid project that we're pursuing. And that concludes my report. If anyone has any questions.
I think so.
All right. Media report.
All this task, media coverage is in the.
Yes. Yes. All right, we'll move on to section 2, approval of the minutes. We have quorum, so the May 16, 2024 minutes, the board of trustees were sent out. Is there a motion to approve? Thank you, Barbara. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Tina. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Abstain. All right, moving on to up and up. We have 2 sets of minutes, the May 14, 2024 F&F committee meeting minutes. Motion. Thank you, Jim. Second, Jim, the other Jim. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? All right, and then we have the June 18, 2024 Finance and Facilities Committee meeting recap. Motion. Thank you, Jim Orban. Second. Thank you, Tina. Any discussion? Great. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? All right. There are no preferred items from F&F. However, we do have action items that we need to go through one by one. F&F did not have a quorum, so we'll start with 5.1, recommend approval of payroll certification. Motion. Thank you. Yes, Margaret moved it and Jim seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Anyone abstain? 5.2, recommend approval of 2024-25 Beyond the Classroom Grant Award. Motion. Thank you, Hiba. Second, Barbara. Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Abstentions. All right, moving on to 5.3, recommend approval of unpaid leave of absence for Brandon. Motion. Thank you, Hiba. Second. Second. Thank you, Jim. Jim Testani. And I do remember to tell you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? All right, 5.4, recommend approval of amendment to contract to extend the term of S. Kane, interim associate vice president, dean of students. Motion. Barbara, thank you. Second. Jim Orban. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Anyone abstain? 5.5, recommend approval of gym floor refinishing. Motion. Move. Thank you, Margaret. Second.
I second.
Thank you, Heba. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Anyone abstain? 5.6, recommend approval of resolution for the new position description, Dean of Distance Learning, Professional Development, and Student Success. Motion. Thank you, Jim. Testani, second. Tina, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Anyone? 5.7, recommend approval of adoption of State of New York Deferred Compensation Plan. Motion. Thank you, Barbara. Second. Thank you, Margaret. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Anyone abstain? 5.8, recommend approval of the 2024-2025 SUNY Broome Community College tuition and fees and operating budget, sponsor services, and full-time position. Motion, excuse me. Margaret, thank you, second. Hiba, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? 5.9, recommend approval of release of retainage for Louis Catano for restroom renovation project. Motion. Thank you, Margaret. Second. Thank you, Jim Testani. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Anyone abstain?
I abstain.
You abstain,
abstain.
Jim Morgan abstains from 5.9. 5.10, recommend approval of release of retainage for J&K Plumbing for the restroom renovation project. Motion. Thank you, Barbara. Second. Hiba, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? 5.11, recommend approval of release of retainage for Blanding Electric for the restroom renovation project. Motion. Thank you, Margaret. Second. Thank you, Hiba. All right, any discussion? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Abstain. 5.12, recommend approval of release of retainage for AJG Associates for the restroom renovation project. Motion. Thank you, Barbara. Second. Thank you, Margaret. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye? Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain?
I abstain.
All right, Jim Warban abstains from 5.12. 5.13, recommend approval of IT 9005 secure authentication and responsible use policy. Motion. Thank you, Jim. Sani, second, Jim Warban. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? 5.14, recommend approval of petty cash. Motion.
Motion.
Thank you, Hiba. Second, Margaret, any discussion? All those in favor, aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? All right, is there any other business to come before the board? Oh, yeah, sorry, I completely forgot. So we're having a little bit of a time with the up and up forum. So the question was, could we move the meeting up a little bit earlier in the day? So the meeting is at 9. Could we move it from 8 to 9? That might give us a better opportunity to get people there so that we can make sure we have a forum.
So it's, you wanted at 8?
Speak up.
7:30. We go to 9.
Oh, my God, murder. Wait, what were you saying? You wanted at 7:30 in the morning?
It used to be.
It's 7:30. Look at the hospital, we start early, so I'm all in.
At that one, I always have to be Zoom, so. And that matters for me. I wouldn't be able to make the point.
Yeah.
Right,
Who else?
yes.
Now,
We've only
So-
not had a quorum once, right? So I mean, that was my fault.
It's nobody's fault, it's just a question. No,
I didn't show.
well, I mean,
do you think moving it to 7:30 solves the issue?
We were thinking about moving it earlier or later after work to allow people who may have work commitments to be
Right now it's at 9.
I'd like to hold it over.
I agree. Let's
Can we talk about it?
You wanna leave it on?
think about it,
Okay.
hold it over.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I promise to follow everybody.
Fellow committee trustees. All right, are there any other topics to be discussed tonight? Is there any need for executive session? All right, just a reminder, again, for the trustees who weren't here when we first announced tonight, it's Diana's last meeting. She'll be retiring in July, but tonight is her last formal meeting, and so again, we wanted on behalf of the board to say thank you, and we'll have time to honor you in July, but wanted tonight to be at least a little bit special, so we brought flowers and cake, so please stay for cake and enjoy some. She ruined her surprise for trying to get it in here, but it was so hot, we couldn't leave it out in the car, so they didn't do a very good job with the surprise. Anyway, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Jim Fasani, second. Hiba, this is your big chance. There you go. Welcome, Hiba, and have cake as well to celebrate you. So all in those in favor, aye. Anybody opposed, anybody abstained? Thank you very much. All right.